Well, hello again. My name is Robin Hawks. I'm the Labor Program Director for the Montana Nurses Association, and I have a short slideshow on your election details coming up beginning February 19th, and then the mail ballot portion of your election will run from February 19th to March 19th when your ballots are counted. So I wanted to go over the instructions that you're going to see and what you can see, what your ballot's going to look like, and what you can expect for in-person votes and for mail ballot voters. Um, so this is what you need to know for um, your vote. So upcoming. So first and foremost, your in-person, your manual voters. This is occurring for the voters were determined by who was scheduled to work on February 19th, 2026. So we have that list. We will get this emailed out to you later tonight or by tomorrow. And we have both lists, so you'll know if you're receiving a mail ballot or if you will be required to vote in person. The most important thing to remember is this list is set and done. If you're sick and you're an in-person voter, you're gonna have to go and vote in person. If you switch shifts, you can't, you're still gonna have to vote in person. You can't change at this point the type of ballot you will be receiving, whether that's in person or manual. So for our manual in-person voters, the vote is on Thursday, February 19th. The National Labor Relations Board will send an elections officer to Libby, and this will occur in your Dome Scenery Conference Room. And the voting times are between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. And then it will go from 11 to 1 p.m. and then again at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Those are the defined voting times, and the elections officer from the NLRB will manage the voting box and will manage the whole process of you going in to vote. What that looks like, you're going to go into the room. They're going to have a list. They're going to check your eligibility if your name is on the list. They'll check either your work ID or your driver's license, and then you'll be provided a ballot. And this is what the ballot is going to look like. This is the sample ballot. This is what we received from the NLRB for your secret ballot election. And the question is going to be, do you wish to be represented for purposes of collective bargaining by the Montana Nurses Association, American Federation of Teachers, AFL-CIO? And those two names are on there because those are our affiliates. And what you'll do is simply put an X in the square of your choice. Do not write anything else on this ballot or it will be void. And then the elections officer will tell you where to put your ballot in when you vote in person. Okay? Oh, look, an X showed up on the yes part. So, whoa, how did that happen? If you are receiving a mail ballot, that is going to be sent out to anybody who is on the mail ballot list from the NLRB, and those will be sent out on February 19th. You won't receive them obviously on February 19th, but you should receive them, I'd say 2 to 3 days from February 19th. This is what the packet's going to look like. It's going to come in a manila envelope, and there's going to be instructions with 2 other envelopes inside this packet. So once you receive this, you just need to open your packet. When you open that up, locate your ballot. There'll be a ballot, instructions, and there's going to be a blue and yellow envelopes. Your blue envelope is going to be your secret ballot envelope. For anybody who's voted in any other election by mail, it's a very similar process to that. You have multiple envelopes. Then this is the ballot that you are going to receive in your mail, and it looks exactly like the ones the in-person voters are receiving. Okay? Oh, look at that. Another one. Another X appeared on the ballot. So biggest piece here is you just need to read the instructions. These are sample instructions I'm showing here, but yours are going to be similar to these. And so just make sure you're reading those. It um, talks about what you need to do, the envelope that you need to put your ballot in. It's going to go in the secret ballot, which will be your blue envelope, and I'll go through this. I've got multiple steps here to talk to you. So just these are going to be that. Just make sure you read those. There is at the bottom of the instruction, there will be a phone number if you have questions, but you can also reach out to Leslie or myself if you have questions. Step 4, read the ballot. It's the same thing. Just make sure you know exactly who you're voting for. We understand that what we are really encouraging everybody to vote. We want you to vote how you want, and just make sure that you read this ballot very clearly and don't write anything else on the ballot or it will be void. Oh, again, this person's just really voting for their union. Um, Step 5, mark the ballot within the square box of the choice with an X. There are two options. Obviously, yes. In this ballot, yes means to keep your nurses union and maintain your representation with M&A. If you vote no, you will lose your professional nurses union, and you will lose the contract you have in place now. Again, don't write anything or mark anything else on this ballot because if it will be void. Oh, again, because all the voting is happening here. Once you vote, you want to place your completed ballot in the appropriate blue envelope per the instructions. You'll see there's a picture here. It says official secret ballot. You put a ballot in there and then seal that envelope. Again, don't write on the envelope. Don't write anything extra. Just seal it, and that is your secret ballot envelope. Then next is locate that appropriate yellow mailing envelope. And this is what it's going to look like. I do not believe that it requires postage, but be prepared to have a stamp just in case it does. But I'm fairly certain it doesn't require postage. Place your blue secret ballot envelope into the yellow mailing envelope and then seal that. And then the biggest step here is after you seal the yellow envelope, sign your name on the seal. Don't print. It requires a signature. And all the other identification pieces on here. This is a sample one. I do not know if they still require your case number. I don't think so. They might, but that will be on your instructions. It's going to tell you what you need to write because every election with the National Labor Relations Board is assigned a case number, and they may be requiring you to put that on there, but that will be contained on that instruction sheet. Place your sealed and signed yellow envelope into the mail to the NLRB as soon as possible. At the latest, ballots should be mailed back to the region a week before March 19th to guarantee it gets there on time and will be counted. The vote count is on March 19th at 1 p.m. If the ballot is not there at just shortly before 1 p.m., it won't be counted. If it shows up after that count begins, it won't be counted. Just to make sure, the board agent I spoke with today said because we're mailing from Montana, to guarantee it's there, to give yourself a week to get that ballot in. And if you hear or you yourself do not receive a mail ballot by February 26th, giving some time for that ballot to get there, you and only you must contact the NLRB at Region 19, and I provided the phone number here, and or you can email our board agent, which is Liz DeFleming at the nlrb.gov to request a new ballot. We are not allowed to do that on your behalf. We will make sure we send this last slide to anybody and everybody that's receiving a mail ballot so that you know who to contact. But you can call us and let us know, but we will just direct you to call the NLRB because they are the only ones that can provide a new ballot for you. And I would just make sure by the 26th of February, if you haven't received one, I would call because you should have received one by then. Any questions? That's it. So if you voted in any mail ballot election, it's the same thing. If you haven't, some people don't, so this might be a new process for you. So it's pretty simple, and the instructions in the envelope are very clear.
I have a question about those who are going to be voting in person. Do they have to bring like legal ID or something like that?
They will most likely in-person elections I've participated in. They've just checked your badge, your work badge. But I would bring your driver's license just in case.
Okay.
But your work ID should be enough, but I'd have both just in case. the other process that will happen during the in-person part of the vote is both the Cabinet Peaks will have an observer, and the local 22, your nurses union, will also have an observer. And we have a nurse who's volunteered to be that observer in there. And the roles of those observer are to make sure like somebody coming off the street or somebody that's not on the list isn't voting. Because if they do attempt to vote, they'll give them a ballot, but that ballot will be challenged and won't go into the box. It will be held on by the board agent. That's simply what will happen. So it's like Vicky Bird can't walk in there that day and say, "Well, I want to vote today too," and um, um, then the observers will be like, "No, she doesn't work here," and no, we're not. They won't. They'll let her. Most likely, they would let her vote, but then challenge that ballot and pull it aside. So that's the job for the observers. And then that board agent maintains that vote box and will travel back to Seattle with it. And they will keep it under lock and key until the mail ballots come in, and then they will all be counted together.
And then Robin, tell them what happens after the board agent counts those ballots and who can watch that happen.
So we will, the board agents, and we will verify this, but the vote counts I've been participated are open for those who want to watch it. So we will, once we get the link for that, we will share that with anybody who wants to join in and watch it. You'll have to mute yourself. You won't be able to talk during that. I think the board agent will mute everybody. They will on camera open each and every envelope and say yes or no, laying them in two piles. They will then count those results. And at that moment, if you are recertified, if your local unit is recertified with M&A as your legal representative, you will continue to be your nursing union into the future, and your contract remains in place, and your bargaining team will continue to negotiate. If you guys lose this election, at that moment, M&A will no longer be your legal representative, and your contract will be null and void at that point. It happens instantly.
Thanks.
We will be available to answer any questions, for you all after that. Go ahead, Curtis.
So is the only certification vote, as I understand?
Yes.
I think that there was I don't know, some confusion because we're receiving information not only from you, but the decertification side of things. And previously I was under the assumption that if you didn't vote, that meant you automatically voted no towards the decertification. So I just want to make sure that everybody that's not in this room is on the same page as far as this is the one and only certification vote, and it's a yes to remain in the union and vice versa. Okay.
Yes, you brought up, but that's a very good question, Curtis. So the rules are in a decertification, and just to be open and transparent with you, this is our first decertification at M&A. So we are learning this. We're getting the information and sharing it with you as quick as we can. So it's new to us too. The eligibility, how they determine who wins is 50% plus one of those eligible voters. That's how they count it. So they look at the eligibility and 50% plus one of that vote. And so if you don't vote, I believe it counts towards that because it's of supporting your union. Because they look at that everybody who is eligible to vote, because you are all covered by the contract right now. This is the only vote, and that ballot that I showed you is exactly the ballot you're going to receive, because we've received that copy, that sample from the NLRB. It should be posted in your hospital, but I will make sure that we're going to email a link to this short presentation out, and we'll also email you a copy of the stipulated election agreement that contains that picture of that ballot too. So the wording on the ballot I just showed you is exactly what you're going to see, whether you're voting in person or in your mail election. But without the little blue X that keeps popping up in there. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you. I'm going to stop our recording.